The question of the president returning the budget 24-25 appropriation bill it is a test both to parliament and is a test to executive, because what is important is that budget starts from government, and the budget is a function of government. The role of parliament is to test to whether the budget is appropriate or the appropriation can be made, which is the function of parliament. But what you see in this budget now is that the first bill of appropriation that was sent was up around 58 trillion. When the government went and brought the estimates, they brought estimates up to 60 trillion. So as the parliament had already finished their sessional committees and they had already reported to parliament, and the sessional committee reports had been submitted to budget committee to synchronize. Then at the budget committee level, the government introduced the core agenda, which was above 9 to 11 trillion. Now it shifted from 58 trillion in the bill, it came to 60 trillion in the policy statements estimates. Now it comes to about 72 trillion. Part of this core agenda was never discussed in the sessional committee, which is irregular, which is actually unconstitutional. It conflicts with the Article 90 of the Constitution and the PFMA. So now when the president again returns the bill, we are waiting tomorrow to find out, is the president returning the bill, the original bill of 58 trillion, or is returning the report of parliament, which was including a core agenda of 72 trillion. So we are waiting for the president to say, what did he return? And secondly, who erred? The one who erred cannot be parliament, because these figures are supplied by executive. So the one who erred is executive. So the president should be able to investigate and find out where did the error come from, and how do we cure this error? Meaning that some sanctions must take place. People who caused this, because government cannot function now. Today is 1st July. There is no budget according to the laws. But we also know that the president can direct Minister of Finance to use the old system of the vote on account, where they can provide for about 4 months budget as the parliament processes. But also rushing parliament is one which makes people not to do their work. Because if you bring a core agenda in the trillions, and you don't want this core agenda to be examined by sessional committees as is required, it means you are making parliament not to do its work properly, which I think that we are waiting tomorrow, and we think that parliament does not commit, to the best of my knowledge, the budget starts from government and ends in the government. So with us, we know that we as members of parliament, we want to be told by the president that you erred here, and the problem is this one, and we see who is going to be punished.
So where is the independence of this?
Of course, when we lose, the parliament has its own mandate of appropriation. And the process of when they bring the budget framework papers, we deal with them. So, but when they now want to do the work of parliament, it means parliament loses some of its power, because parliament has done its work. So where did the parliament err? Parliament has not erred. It means if we don't become very careful, we might find that parliament and executive are fused, meaning that the independence will be eroded. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is true.
I also know people whose fathers have changed.
Yeah, it is true.
I'm yet to come across one whose mother changed.
Even mothers change. I experienced it first in NERA. So the collaboration with DCIC and NERA does exist. And it is that continuous use of information and the question of how are we omitting the loopholes. But furthermore, in the next system, we are also allowing ways of verifying the ID without staying with it. We are trying to create short codes, star codes, whereby you can verify the information on the ID without clinging to it. Because it's when people cling to it that it is usually abused. I will also respond to the question of time taken Why does it take a long time? Why does Honorable Segona take 1 day and some people take 3 to 6 months? Sorry, sir? No, not at all, sir. So, in essence, the time taken, as I started out this discourse, I mentioned that NERA is government's child who is sometimes constrained in resources, and I'll give an example. In 2014, government acquired 5,000 registration kits. Until this year when we shall acquire our others, which is 10 years later, there is no other laptop that was given. And I always ask people in a room if they can give me their 10-year-old phone. And I have not found a place where somebody has given me a phone that is 10 years. The printing equipment that we use, there are 4 machines. At full capacity, we are printing 25,000 cards a day. Today, they print 1,000 cards. So in essence, the throughput or the speed or the efficiency of a machine of 25,000 cards that is now printing 1,000 is not comparable. Therefore, the speed that is required must match the equipment that is present on site at NERA. This year, we shall get new equipment. And hopefully, that story should change to 2 to 3 days. The people to whom we are compared, and I'll use the example of driving permits, use NERA's data. NERA's register is 27 million people. I would put anyone in this country to give me a register with biometrics with 27 million people. Most people have 500,000, 2 million, 3 million. So in essence, and please note that this is the organization whereby in a district there are 2 people. But I want us to count the people where we get the data and the card in 2 minutes. So I think we need to consider the technology, the people challenges that the organization faces in regard to its service delivery. That said, government has provided for us acquiring a new system. Parliament appropriated in December 18th, 2023, 208 billion shillings for a new system. Then, I think I've answered the question of destroyed fingerprints. We shall use your face, and we are adding another biometric, which is the iris. There was a question on gait recognition. It is true, gait recognition is one of the features that can be used in terms of biometrics. But some of these, I'll give you an example of gait. There's retina, there's palm. Some of them, the cost of their technology far surpasses what we can afford. But furthermore, for those who don't walk, they would be constrained by that technology. Then there was a question on level of preparation. Right now, as I speak, we are 3 months behind our projections for beginning of mass enrollment. We are supposed to begin the enrollment process on June 1st. We hope to start by the end of July or beginning of August. We had several delays. One of them was the money. They've been overcome, and we are in the final stages of beginning the process. There was a question also on headquarters of NERA and output on days. of ceremonies. Headquarters of NIRA is Kololo and Independence Grounds, but the grounds are owned by, I think, Ministry of Defense. So we are tenants, or they are caretakers, I don't know.
No, I think they were taken over by, is it State House or President's Office? They are not owned, they were just taken over.
Okay. Okay, we pay rent
told
to the
them?
Ministry of Defense.
You pay rent to defense.
So I assume
Okay.
those are the owners.
And sometimes they are disrupted when there are other occasions
Yes, it is
of
true.
the landlord. What is your plan of having your own premises where you are not inconvenienced every now and then?
That secret lies with this house.
No,
The appropriation of funds
we
for the
don't
sale.
think for you.
No, we have applied for the
You-
last 4
exactly.
years for a NIRA home. And it is an unfunded priority in each of those years.
I actually wanted that to come from you so that my record captures it.
Thank you.
It's important. Okay, colleagues, I think that's all.
That we have two different categories of the NTR. We have the NTR for the services that we offer as NIRA, which falls under the administrative fees and licenses by categorization of the template given to us for preparing this and for also the various tax heads as registered in the system. Then we have the NTR that we get, say, from disposals and sale of bids, which fall under the other category as raised by the Honorable Member of Parliament. But also when you look at Note 8, which he queried that there's non-tax revenue where we've left it at 0, and yet we put all the other money under Note 7. The template given to us, when you look at Note 8, it caters for the various sources that NIRA during the year did not transact in.
You made no sale of goods?
We didn't make
And
sale of
services?
goods. We didn't have dividends. We don't have any rentable
I
property.
expect you not to have dividends,
Yes, we
not
don't.
rent, because
No.
instead you are tenants. Musula ku nyumba za gundi.
Yes, sir.
Now when it comes to,
Note 7.
no, 8 still. On sale of goods and services, that's where I had expected. But what are services? Because let's look at, let's go to 7 and relook at it.
Yes.
Administrative fees and licenses, what does that cater for?
Those are they cater for all the services that NIRA provides. And even under, as captured by Uganda Revenue Authority, the portal we use for collecting taxes, they are categorized under administrative fees and licenses.
Are there any penalties?
No.
Do you have any transfers or donations?
No, sir.
Did you receive any money from government?
Yes, but that one is well catered for in the template under another note.
Under note?
Under note 9. No, 9 is for expenses.
Can't be.
And under note 4,
Yeah.
transfers received from the Treasury,
Okay.
Dash Consolidated Fund, note 4.
Okay. Colleagues, do you have any question on that?
Yes, Chair, when you look at page 36, that numbers of the financial statements, when you look at the breakdown of the 7.038, there is sales of goods and services of 1.3 billion and administration fees and licenses of 5.7 billion. But according to our explanation, yes, she said that they didn't, that there wasn't sale of goods and services, yet is, when you look at this page of 36, it is indicated.
Wait, I think under 7, did you talk about any sale of goods? Director Finance?
No, it was under
note 7.
Under
where?
note 7.
Where?
There was no provision
Yes.
in the template for the sale of goods.
Then where do you get this sale of goods on page 36 of 1.3?
When you look at that, the administrative fees and license, we added up even the sale of goods, the breakdown, because we had to show the.
Tell me about sale of goods and services at page 36, the 1.315.
That is the sale of goods that we got from the bids.
Good. How different would those ones be from those under note 8 at page 27? Those are the sale of goods and services we expected under note 8.
Yeah, when you look at note 8, it talks about exchange transactions.
Under note 8?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Then when you look at note 7, it talks about non-exchange transactions. Clarification from, yeah.
Where is the 1.3 under note 7?
It's not provided. Because normally we are given this template.
Yes, I know that.
Yes. It's not provided, that's why.
You did,
Since the other one
you
don't
conglomerated.
belong. Yes, please. Then, but the other side we put a breakdown.
Repeat the goods and services you have at page 36. Which ones are those?
The goods and services, we have our normal active, okay. The sale of goods and services. That is the bids. The
Those
category,
are bids.
Yes. But all our activities as captured fall under administrative fees and licenses.
No. Yes, Honorable Nangoli. Yes, you are not.
Chair, thank you once again. It very well. 2, if I take you back, because here you collected 7 billion against a target of 15. And your boss, who happens to be the accounting officer, was very clear, said the reason why they did not collect 15 was because there was a non-renewal of the contract.
No, alien registration.
Uh-huh.
Alien registration is registering of persons, citizens, non-citizens legally living in the country.
Now, if I may ask you in a simple
And
way.
the reason for non-registration was because of the absence of the software.
Exactly.
That's it.
Now, if I ask you that, who is responsible, who was responsible for this loss? Because if you fail
The person who
to
did not
procure
provide the money,
was
was it the person who did not envisage this in signing the original contract?
contract? Huh? Chair, now there you can proceed.
Okay, as I started when it came to the system, the NSIS as it was envisaged in 2014, at the time it was created, envisaged adult registration. Actually, if you look at the Auditor General's report, one of the things he highlights is fragmented systems. Because it did not even envisage birth registration and death registration, which came in 2016.
Yes.
So when the original maker of the system started out, he made a system for citizens, adults actually above 16. Subsequently, there were some changes made when he was still around, before 2019, for birth registration. By the time he was supposed to do the alien model, the alien module, it was actually even in test, generate an alien identification number. But the template for printing the ID, that one was not left behind. So it's the ID that has a cost of $100. So in essence, without registering to issue a card, Because we can generate an alien identification number, but the cost of the service is on the card. Because we could not generate a card with the alien template, he left only one template for the Uganda citizen ID. That is the reason that we were not able to publicize the printing of alien national IDs.
Or alien cards, they can't be national.
Alien cards.
Okay.
Sorry, pardon me.
I think that's well understood. I think the question that continues to linger is how somebody expected, because among other things, registration of persons, mark the word, even the law we made was not for registration of citizens, but registration of persons. How somebody went to procure services excluding registration of aliens, because it has security implications.
It's true, but the system was procured before the entity was formed. The system was procured in 2013, 2014. The entity was created on 26th March 2015.
Yeah.
So it was out of scope for the provider. There were subsequent change requests. Yeah.
Chair.
Who owned the software that we needed? The intellectual property? Who owned the intellectual property that we needed?
It's mobile who owns there's a current, what we call the current NSIS.
Yes.
Hopefully in 2 months it will be changing. But the current NSIS, the intellectual property, is owned by the company whose name, Mobile.
Who owns Mobile?
I will get the names of the directors and submit them to this committee.
Oh, okay. Do you know a company called, is it Veridos?
Veridos is the 49% shareholder in the other Uganda Security Printing Company.
Good. And who owns 49?
49%? Veridos.
Okay, we own 51.
They own
Veridos
owns 49%.
Who owns Veridos?
GN Jazik and Devrient and the Bank of German. They have different shareholding.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. You know, I've been around for some time and on a committee on defense but Chair, back to, because the few things I wanted also, I know about Veridos and Malba, but the question today is about NTR. No. And that's why I wanted to restrict myself on NTR.
No, before you go there, it is of interest to know these companies.